For each project there is a business case. But when you are working in a large project where there are many subcontractors, each supplier will have its own individual business case. This module is about the supplier's business case. On the one hand, we have the overall project with the overall business case. This is a kind of agreement between the project manager and the project sponsor. Then those aspects where we made a buy decision, we will select suppliers, and suppliers will go into the project because they believe there is some positive business case for themselves. Here we have the supplier's business case. And as we shall see, the interest of the suppliers is not always the same as the interest of the overall project. First of all, the supplier's business case can be because the project contributes to the overall margin of the supplier. But it is also possible that the business case for the supplier is that he wants to improve the customer relationship. In a way, the offer is bought by the supplier. Another reason, another business case for the supplier can be that in this project he can gain new experience. And finally, it is possible that the sole business case is just because of economics to keep people working. We will study them now in some more detail. When the business case has to do with a contribution to the profit margin of the supplier, it is a very simple calculation. There are contract prices and there are costs. And in between we have a positive margin. And often in a project we try to invoice some changes on the project. So these all together, they form the supplier's business case. But there is more that we should take into account, because when we are doing this specific project as a subcontractor, we miss something. So we also need to take into account the so-called missed opportunities of what we in investment appraisals call the opportunity cost. Doing one thing prevents me from doing another thing. So if the supplier could do a much more profitable project instead of this one, you should take these costs also into account in appraising this specific project. It can also be that we are doing a specific project to preserve an existing relationship, because we have made some failures in the past and the customer is not as satisfied with us any longer. It also is possible that we can buy a new relationship. In this situation, we have a contract price and costs that exceed the contract price. There is a negative margin. But the business case for doing this project is because we believe that in the future we can get new assignments, so that on the long run this decision actually is a positive business case. In that case, we need to see the negative margin as costs of sales. So the negative margins is sales cost, and the real costs are the budget for the project manager. And he gets the assignment to look for savings, so that the negative margin at the end will be as small as is possible. Another reason could be that we are doing this project because it's innovative, and because of this we gain experience. And so we can actually see this as an investment in the future. And we believe that after some time we can enter into new markets, we can deliver new services, we can see increase in our rates. So in fact the costs now at this moment, this negative margin, will actually contribute in a more profitable organization somewhere in the future. When times are, economically speaking, going not very well, sometimes we need to take an order in order to cover the fixed costs. The salary, the wages, it's always going on. So therefore we have in each project some fixed and variable costs, and the contract price is lower. It doesn't match all the cost, but it does match some cost. So in fact we are restricting the loss. Financially spoken, we have three typically business cases for a supplier. We have the one with a profitable assignment. We have the one where it is an investment in the customer relationship or our own skills and capabilities. And finally, we have a business case that has to do with restricting the losses that we have. In each case, it is one of the primary tasks of the project manager of the supplier is to keep the variable cost as low as possible, because that will contribute to the overall margin of the organization for which you are actually working as a project manager from a supplier. When you are the project manager of the overall project, when you're the lead project manager, you need to take this risk into account, because when the supplier no longer has a business case, then also the overall project can be or is in danger.